Hey y'all, it's Erica Prentice, The Book of Man, an instructional guide to handling your man. Let's see, to sum this up quickly, this is the book you always knew existed but could never get your hands on.
You need to turn this up. It's the streets is talking. Where they cover real issues. It's the streets is talking. Our Prophet Crystal West. It's the streets is talking. What up, everybody? It's the streets is talking. From the north to the south. It's the streets is talking. And from the east to the west. It's the streets is talking. Spread unity to community. It's the streets is talking. What up, everybody? It's the streets is talking. It's the streets is talking. On the streets is talking, man. Streets is talking. Now we're busy here and there. It's time to listen. Louisville, the city. Why gossip? So everybody listen up. I love numbers, we love summer. B96 be jamming, the streets buzzing. Play my song and listen to this cousin Flavor. Hot, no traces with this bubble. You need to turn this up. It's the streets is talking. Where they cover real.
Author Series Part 2 today. We've got another author in the studios with us for the Streets of Talking radio show. Her name is Erica Prentice. She has a book out. It's titled The Book of Man, an instructional guide on how to handle your man.
And your co-author, he's not here to talk himself, so I'm going to kind of ask you to speak for him a little bit. But why Andy and not another woman? Why did you write that with a man instead of a woman?
Well, honestly, this had been an idea that he had been carrying around for a long time. And really, to get to the heart of it, the behavior carries over. It's something that we are passing on to our children, and unfortunately in our community the vast majority of households are headed by single women. So we figured to make the biggest impact on the dating behavior and to affect the most positive change, we would start with the women's behavior first. Now, don't get it twisted. We got the Book of Woman come, and we are going to look at the men's behavior as well. So we've got that coming up.
Okay.
But we wanted to start here because, again, biggest impact.
Right. We're talking to author Erica Prentice of the Book of Man fame, an instructional guide to handling your man here on the Streets of Talking on B96.5.
Hi, Erica. Thanks for coming today. I'm looking at your book, The Book of Man, and it's reminding me of another dating guide that came out a couple of years ago about the rules. I think if you remember that. And I read that and I laughed a lot. But I was just wondering, when you sat down to write this book with Andy, what was your desire that a young woman such as myself would get from reading this book?
Again, we really wanted to alter the current dating behavior. Long-term effects, and you'll hear me speak a lot about long-term effects on our children, but if you are a woman that is raising a son but you hate men, what are you teaching your son? What are you teaching your male children? You are either going to lock this child into always trying to be your son and never really allowing him to fully develop into a grown man, or you're going to take him down a whole nother road. If you are a woman that is raising daughters and you're engaging in some of this dating behavior, and you're teaching your daughters that, well, if you're sleeping with a man, then he needs to be paying bills and he needs to be paying for you to get your hair done and your nails need. It's low-level prostitution. Now, we can call it what we want to call it all day long, but it's still low-level prostitution. And then you wonder why these kids are starting down this road in middle school. This behavior starts in middle school.
And then on the 20th, we kick off our series. Our series with the spoken word poets is titled The Spoken Word, Simple Conversations.
So we're talking to Erica Prentice, co-author of The Book of Man, an instructional guide to handling your man. How much influence is the internet? The internet is pretty much the wild, wild west. You can pretty much do anything you want. There are websites dedicated to booty calls, for example.
Yes.
How much influence is that on everything that our young men and young women are taking in?
You know what? It is, I am, I am constantly appalled at some of the behavior that takes place on the internet. I won't name any particular sites, but I originally got an account on one of the most popular sites as a networking thing. I've always been an entrepreneur, and I've always had businesses, so I've always kept venues for social media and for networking. And I'm amazed at some of the requests and some of the things that you get asked online to engage in. And again, it's access. It's not that necessarily even people are doing things that are any different sexually. It's just that there's more access to it. And,
Right.
and you have to keep, I guess, a tighter rein or a closer guard on where your children are going and what information they're filtering. And yes, it is our job to filter these things.
Well, how much of it is an effect on the adult, though, and their behavior?
I'm telling you, you got grown people out here acting like they're 14, 15 years old. So, I mean, truly, you've got grown folks that don't know how to conduct themselves. I think the biggest thing for me, and I have one pat way to get rid of people. That's awful, isn't it? But I ask the question, who are you? And who, whom, or what do you serve? Question, who are you? And who, whom, or what do you serve? And that is a very serious question. It's a very deep question. It's a legitimate question.
And that's kind of where I was about to go is, there's the game, and I guess that's kind of the courting ritual, the dance around it all, and meeting somebody and trying to figure out if that's the person for you.
Right.
But then people kind of go extreme.
Yeah.
And then it becomes about, I've got all these girls.
Right.
These are all my girls.
Right.
Or on the flip side, there's these, they're all these dudes, he pays my light bill, he pays my rent, he pays my car note.
We call those sponsors too.
Sponsors.
They got sponsored.
Hey, what's up? Tim Gerard. I'm the program director for B96.5 Magic 101.3. On Magic, I am also the voice of the Tim Gerard Radio Network and the producer of From the Corner to the Courthouse, Both Sides of Justice. On B96.5, I'm also the producer of the Streets of Talking radio show. Couple things. Shout out to Who's Who in Black Louisville. An incredible event on Thursday night. They honor my cousin Greg Page as well as Chuck Olmstead and my good friend Reverend Lewis Coleman. So great thing that they did. And they do it this is the third edition, so they do that every year. It's always a classy event. Now, let me tell you about Erica for a second. As part of the conversation, read the book. It's called The Book of Man. When you pick it up over at Expressions of You Coffee House or on Amazon.com, if you see yourself in any of those 10 commandments, it's time to recheck your game.
That's what's up.
You need to turn this up. It's the streets is talking. Where they cover real issues. It's the streets is talking. Our prophet Crystal West. It's the streets is talking.
And one last thing, what the people may not know, I don't know, they may know, they may not know, but you are also a poet.
Oh, yes.
Do you have something you want to share with real quick? Can you pull one up out the archive for Real Like You Productions?
Okay. This one's called Exhale. My mind slips to the place where you and I are intertwined, legs laced around bodies and wide open, arms grip, grasp, and lift as hips thrust and swivel and side to side. It's true what they say about Latin lovers. You move me, tempt, taunt, and tease me, place kisses on breasts, neck, ears, and buttocks, slip in me and sip on me. It's true what they say about tongue rings too. Damn, if I lived 1,000 years in a day, I could never hope to find the combination that you provide. Making love, having sex, they all get mingled with you and me, and somehow we manage to do all three as you ride me, come inside me, taste me, and place me exactly where I need to be. I don't know if that's suitable.
Real Like You Productions, 96.5, Streets of Talking. That's what's up. And she's a poet. Peace.